Welcome back to the Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker. Barb has the buyers. You probably know her from that. This is the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or to sell real estate, and it does it with Barb Schlinker, the owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Barb, when home sellers are planning to put their homes on the market, how do they make their home the best home available in their neighborhood?
Not 100% of homes on the market sell. People think that they will, but there are some things that can cause it to not sell. Either preparation, marketing, pricing, those three things are usually the reason. And most people don't sell a home every day, and the technology has really changed. So it's critical on who you select as the agent that's handling the sale, because it's one of your largest assets. And not too long ago, 6 months ago, a home seller could put their home on the market and it would just fly off the shelf at a ridiculously high price with a bidding war. And those days are over. And then also years ago, when the market was more evenly balanced, many people would still charge a higher price than what they were expecting to get to leave room for what they call negotiating room. And that does not work either. So you need somebody that can help guide you through the home selling process. So if your home is not selling, don't get discouraged. It's probably not your fault. It's probably a myriad of things. Like I've had some home sellers tell me that, no, my agent insisted that this was the price we should market the home. And yet we're showing after showing or no showings at all and no offers, and we have to move. So sometimes it's the mistake of the agent. So I'm going to share with you basically the top 3 reasons why houses don't sell in what I perceive to still be a relatively hot market and what to do about it. And the good news is all these things are in your control. And one of the things that we're offering is a free report. So if you go to barbhasthebuyers.com and go up to the little green button that says Seller Guide, you can actually scroll down and find a free report, House Did Not Sell. And that's what you want to download. And it will give you all kinds of detail about what to do if you're facing that problem. And to my surprise, Richard, even after we've had red hot market, when I looked at the statistics this morning, I was shocked to see that in the month of December, 560 homes out of only less than 2,000 got pulled off the market and did not sell. That's more than a quarter of them did not sell. And it was probably because of these 3 reasons that I'm going to talk about. The number 1 reason is condition. So generally a home that's real pretty, that's presented properly to the market, if it's priced right, is going to sell fast. But you know what? Even homes that need work, if they're priced right, they will sell fast. So pricing and condition absolutely work together. And what you have to do is take a look at the situation of your home. Am I updated? Am I not updated? How does my competition look, to make that decision about how you're going to approach going on the market. You cannot expect to get the same amount of money for your home compared to one that was completely remodeled with Corinthian leather and quartz counters and all that, and yours is not. It's just a buyer is not going to pay for it, especially if they can find something else better. And that's part of what we do, is we guide you on what to do and what not to do to get the most money. And the example I just gave in the last segment, that home on acreage had the mauve colored carpet. That definitely had to go because I knew it would be a detriment to selling the home. But they didn't have to remodel the whole home, even though it was a higher price point, over $900,000. That doesn't mean you have to go and get granite and Corinthian leather everywhere. It just has to be priced appropriately. And we did that right. And we ended up getting 7.3% over asking price. We were priced at 900,000. It sold for 975 because they did everything exactly right. Another problem that we could have is what we call bad marketing. So I hate to say this because I know people listen to the show. I don't mean to criticize my fellow real estate agents out there, but I think the industry is very weak on training agents on just the basics. Like for the most part, it's 1 month of school to become a real estate agent. And then you go hang your license with a broker, and they might have a little training here and there. They might tell you to go knock on doors, to do something like that. But they don't really tell you the things that are absolutely important to buyers and sellers and the whole entire process. And one of the things they absolutely fail on terribly is teaching marketing to agents. And if your agent doesn't know how to present the home in the best possible light, chances are it's going to sit on the market. I've got pictures here. I'm showing one is a bathroom that has rugs on the floor and clutter everywhere, and the shower curtains closed. So everybody assumes if the shower curtains closed that there's mold on that tile behind the wall.
Yeah.
The other two pictures are pictures of a bunch of clutter in a house that was a high-priced home. These were photos that I found from the MLS that were properties that should have sold when the market was on fire, red hot, but they did not. So picking an agent who's not an expert in selling homes actually could cost you thousands of dollars. You need to find somebody that actually puts together a marketing plan, and you should ask them, where will you market my home? What kind of photos are you going to take for my home? Because we know that 98% of buyers start their search online. And if they don't like the photos, they are not going to come and see the home. So it's absolutely critical. And then, are you really going to take photos of my home that make it look more valuable? Recently, I have a team member that was trying to show a buyer a home, and they had actually made an offer for an identical floor plan in this neighborhood, and they got outbid by a competing buyer. The same exact floor plan was on the market, but the photos were awful. And it took my agent considerable effort to talk her into going to see this home. It turned out the home was actually in better condition than the one that they got outbid on, but the photos were bad. And she had to beg this buyer to come and see it. And that buyer ended up buying that home because it was actually a really nice home. It was just bad marketing. Or if you have bad pricing, that's another problem. So I have many sellers tell me, oh, we just went along with what the agent told us to price the home at. We thought that would be appropriate. And they burn the whole, selling season with an overpriced home and never make an adjustment. That is a mistake. If there are no showings, it's a clue. Okay. Either your marketing is bad or your pricing is wrong. Chances are it's pricing. Pricing absolutely is a piece of marketing, and it absolutely is the seller's decision. It's not the real estate agent's decision, it's the seller's decision. And so a lot of times I'll ask home sellers, well, how did you come up with that price? Because when buyers do a search online, of course, most home sellers want to get the most amount of money. And there's a joke about, a home seller thinks their home is worth $50 million, and the reality it's only worth 500,000. So that is always the case, that the home seller wants the most money and the buyer wants the best home that they can get in their price range. So it's hard to make a match when they're inconsistent. Like if the buyer can go out and find a better home in their price range, they're not even going to go look at your home that's overpriced. They won't even bother. It doesn't matter how nice it is when they get inside. They're not going to get inside. So that's why this pricing decision and the person that you choose to do the marketing is absolutely critical. And so we see a lot when homes sit on the market and then they don't sell. They made a mistake in those arenas in most cases. And generally buyers will search in their price range, and they will search below what their max availability is to shop for a home. So when you go to a lender, they will say, oh yeah, you qualify for $2 million. Well, the buyer's thinking, okay, maybe we qualify, but we don't want a huge, massive payment like that. We don't want to be house poor. We'd like to be comfortable and just pay for our living expenses. So a lot of times buyers will search well below their max available to buy a home. And many times the websites are structured to search in $50,000 increments. So you want to be the best home in your $50,000 increment. So if you price it a little bit low, chances are it's actually going to sell for whatever market value is at the time, because all the buyers are going to see, oh, look at that home. I can get that home for this price. And they're going to make their best offer, especially when they're up against competition. And if you go over that amount, if you exceed that $50,000 increment, and now you're competing with a different $50,000 increment where the buyers are finding better homes, they're not even going to come look at yours. They're not even going to make an offer on yours. So this is what we are an expert in. We do this all the time, hundreds of times, year in, year out. I've helped well over 3,000 people sell homes since I've been in business in the 90s. My team has helped many of them. And our goal is to get you top dollar and to make sure the whole experience is set up so that you have a good experience when you sell your home, and we're able to sell your home for the most the market will bear. What's interesting is 6 months ago, before the Fed started raising the interest rates and really stepping on the gas, he basically created what I call demand destruction by raising the rates, because most home buyers buy on house payments. They don't buy on necessarily the sticker price, right? So when he started raising the rates, it meant their house payment would go up, and then it was unaffordable for them. So he took away a lot of first-time home buyers. And the most interesting thing I'm seeing right now is the low-end price point is getting hit harder than the high-end price point. My luxury and the high-end stuff seems to be moving pretty well. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Usually it would be just the opposite, but it has to do with how payment sensitive the buyer is. And in the lower price point, they are very payment sensitive. So 6 months ago, when the rates were 2 or 3%, you could have gotten by with raising the price above market value. And some sellers got it. I was amazed at what some of the homes are selling for, but that has changed now. And now the buyers are looking for the best home that they can get. And, you know, a great real estate agent really knows how to help you price the home to get top dollar. I have one home up in Monument that just sold for asking price. It was almost $900,000. I had another one that sold a few years back that was a total fixer-upper. We were very honest about it, but we priced it right. We got 46 offers, and it sold as if it was already remodeled. And that's because I understand pricing and how to create demand to get you top dollar. And so if you're thinking of making a move and you've had trouble trying to sell your home and you want to order that free report, you can go to barbhasthebuyers.com, click on the seller guide, and go down to the free report titled Your House Didn't Sell. We have nearly 27,000 buyers in waiting on our website. We have over 62 cash buyers looking for homes to rent out. We can find you a buyer. That's what we do. Give us a call at 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
And quick story, I had a friend up in Crystal Park. They had their home on the market for a year. Didn't get a single offer. I recommended you. You, in one weekend, got them over a dozen offers, and they sold it for the asking price in one weekend. That's how efficient you are. You're listening to The Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Barb, you've got hot new listings for us. Share them with us now, would you please?
Yes. So I have a really great townhome coming up, 1216 Soaring Eagle in the low 200s. Great starter home, nice little neighborhood. I have a couple of homes that are owned by the VA on the market right now. One on Babbling Stream, it is a fixer-upper, and then the one out on Carlview on Yoder. Both of those are fixer-uppers, but they're priced to sell. The Yoder property, 35 acres, $181,000. I have a really cute starter home on Mary Lane, priced in the mid-threes. A beautiful Victorian downtown on 550 East Platte at $599. And a gorgeous home close to Cottonwood Park at $449,900. Also a beautiful custom home overlooking Pulpit Rock, looking at Pikes Peak on 1025 Garlock Court, and a fantastic home coming very soon, a $4849 Old Farm Circle, priced in the low 400s. So if you want to know all about our coming soon homes, go to barbhasthebuyers.com and take a look at our tour of homes. Richard?
You're listening to The Real Estate Voice. It airs every Saturday. And if you're thinking of making a move, just call Barb at 719-301-3900 or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. You can also see replays of the show on Barb's YouTube channel, Barb Schlinker, Schlinker, or listen to the podcast on all the popular podcast platforms, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcast, etc. Thanks for listening this week. And to reach out to Barb, call 719-301-3900. Barb, you have a great week. We'll talk to you next week.